Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling a really great question from a listener, YC. He gets right into how we think about science, especially scientific names.
hmm
YC asked about the endocannabinoid system,
Huh.
the ECS. And the core question was, well, does that name mean our own internal system evolved because of cannabis?
Uh-huh.
You know, which came first, the plant or the body system?
It's a fantastic question because it highlights how the discovery process itself can, well, shape our understanding, sometimes in misleading ways.
Right. So we're going to unpack this using some insights from Professor Lin's work. And spoiler alert, you're probably going to learn something quite surprising about your own body today.
Exactly. What's really fascinating here is that the name tells a story, but maybe not the one you'd expect.
Yeah.
It tells the story of discovery, not necessarily of origin. We'll get into that deeper ancient truth.
Okay, so let's start with what Professor Lin points out, this kind of paradox.
Yeah.
Our bodies don't just react to cannabis, right? We actually have our own cannabinoid receptors. Think of them like tiny docking stations on our cells.
Precisely. And not just the receptors, the locks, but also the keys. Our bodies naturally produce compounds called endocannabinoids that fit perfectly into those locks.
So that's the big question then, isn't it? Why?
Mhm.
Why would we have this whole system seemingly named after and interacting with a plant that humans have used for, well, ages?
It's the million-dollar question that drove research for decades. And you're right, human use of cannabis goes way back. Think ancient China. The Shenong Benkao Jing text mentions it thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
But the scientific understanding, that's much, much more recent.
Right.
The path to discovering our own internal system, our ECS, actually started, perhaps ironically, by scientists studying the cannabis plant itself, looking at its compounds.
Ah, so the plant wasn't the origin, but more like the clue, the starting point for scientists.
It's exactly like that. A breadcrumb trail, if you will. You
Yeah.
had early work like isolating cannabinol, CBN, way back, then CBD, cannabidiol, around 1940. But the real breakthrough that kicked things into high gear was in 1964. Professor Raphael Mechoulam, people often call him the father of cannabis research. He isolated and figured out the structure of THC, tetrahydrocannabinol.
That's the main psychoactive one, right?
And that's the one. And finding THC really made scientists think, okay, how is this stuff actually affecting us? What's it doing in the body?
Right. So identifying the plant chemicals was step one. Step two must have been figuring out what they were, interacting with inside us.
You got it. That curiosity led straight to the next big discoveries. It took a while, but in 1988, Alan Howlett's team found evidence for a specific receptor in rat brains that THC bound to.
Okay, in rats first.
Yep. And then just 2 years later, they found the human version of that same receptor, the lock, basically.
The lock. So what about the key? Our body's own key.
The plot thickens. That came in 1992. Mechoulam's lab again, they discovered the first endocannabinoid, the body's own molecule that naturally binds to those receptors. Anandamide, it was called.
Wow, so quite a sequence of discoveries there. Plant chemicals, then the receptors, then our own internal chemicals.
Exactly. And those parts together, the endocannabinoids, the receptors they bind to, and the enzymes that build and break them down, that whole network, is what we now call the endocannabinoid system, the ECS.
Okay, so this brings us right back to YC's quotient. The name endocannabinoid system clearly comes from cannabis because that's where the research started. But does it mean the system exists because of the plant?
And here's the answer, the debunking of the myth, absolutely not. The endocannabinoid system is, well, it's incredibly ancient.
Ancient. How ancient are we talking?
We're talking roughly 600 million years old. It predates flowering plants like cannabis by hundreds of millions of years. It existed long before dinosaurs.
Whoa. Okay, 600 million years.
Yeah. It's found in almost all animals. Vertebrates, like us, but also invertebrates, think sea squirts, nematodes. It's fundamental. Its core
Wow.
job over all that time has been maintaining internal balance.
Balance.
Like keeping things stable. The scientific term is homeostasis. It helps regulate mood, sleep, appetite, pain, immune function, memory. Just countless vital processes needed for survival. It's a master regulator, essentially.
So the system is ancient, fundamental biology. The name just reflects how we stumbled upon it, scientifically speaking, by first studying cannabis.
Precisely. The name is a historical artifact of the discovery path. The system itself is a cornerstone of animal life that evolved long, long before cannabis even existed.
So we can definitely put that idea to rest. Our ECS isn't here because of the cannabis plant. It's actually the other way around almost. The plant gave us the clues to find this deeply ancient, really fundamental system already operating within us.
That's the story. And it really makes you think, doesn't it? It poses a broader question, maybe for you listening. How often do we jump to conclusions based on a name or, a surface level connection?
Yeah.
Instead of really digging into the full scientific story, the history behind it, it's just a good reminder, I think, to always push for that deeper understanding, to look beyond the label.